Did I ever tell you guys about my first night abroad in South America?
Let's hear.
Okay, so I had been dying to study abroad for the whole time I was in college. And by the time I was a junior and narrowed down my search, chose a continent, I knew I was going to South America, but I couldn't decide where. Eventually I ended up selecting Chile. And in the days leading up to going, it's still not settling in on me that I'm finally going to get to go. And luckily Mom got to come with me because of her flight benefits. So the two of us are waiting in the airport. We're not sure if we're going to get on the plane or not. It's standby, it's looking kind of close. And the next thing I know, I'm in the air on my way to spend 5 months abroad. So Mom and I land. It's pretty surreal. We don't have any idea what we're doing. My Spanish is sufficient enough to help us out, but not good enough that I can comprehend everything that's happening around us yet, especially because the Chilean dialect was new to me and much faster paced with slang that I hadn't learned or experienced yet. So amidst the shock of just finally being there, I was trying to soak all of this language in, and it was overwhelming, but I was so excited. So Mom and I get in the taxi finally, take the drive from Santiago to Viña del Mar, and meet up with my host family. Immediately they welcome me in like I'm gonna be their daughter for the next 5 months. So Mom starts to calm down. She sees I'm living in a beautiful neighborhood. My family, despite speaking not a word of English, is super welcoming to her. So now I'm trying to translate between my mama, papa, and my mom. And I'm not sure if I'm catching everything, but it's going great. We spend a lovely day together, have a very chaotic but wonderful lunch, trying to talk to one another. And so at the end of the day, it's time for me to stay behind with my host family and Mom to go home. So, of course, she cries her head off, and surprisingly, I hold it together. Like, something inside of me just tells me it's going to be a good experience. I'm in the right place, and I can tell she knows it too, but it just rips her heart out to leave me so far from home for so long. But at the same time, she's so reassured by having met my family that I know it's going to be okay. So I go to bed that night feeling like I'm ready for everything that's still going to come for me. And I'm all nestled in. My new room is gorgeous. And hello, are you
Sam down here?
Are you going to join the story?
She's telling a story that's for school.
It's about you.
Sorry.
It's okay, you should join in. Jim, show the new audience.
Hey.
We just discussed you leaving me in Chile and blowing your head off. So,
True.
now I'm to the part of the story where I'm describing my bedroom and my first night in my new room. So we live on the first floor of an apartment building where my room has a sliding glass door that goes out into our fenced-in garden. So before I go to bed that night, I shut the curtains and I crawl into my bed feeling cozy. And I don't usually wake up in the middle of the night, but this night something just roused me from my sleep. And it was about 5 in the morning. So I rolled around in my bed and something inside of me was like, well, maybe it's just a new place, new apartment, there are people living upstairs, could just be a new noise I'm not familiar with. But all of a sudden, I get this feeling where my body tenses up and something's not right. And that's when I roll over in my bed, look to the sliding glass door that goes out to my garden, which is backlit by a street light. So even though my curtain's closed, I see clearly the outline of a man standing at my door. And I just freeze. I completely freeze. And the next thing I know, it's not just a man standing there. I realize the sound that woke me up is a slow knock. Right on my door. And I'm frozen. The thoughts going through my mind are literally, well, had a lovely first day. You know what, Alison? You tried to go abroad. You're going to go out with a bang. if this is how you die, then it was really a good try. And then I don't know what to do because I'm not going to get up and open the door. So I stay frozen for what feels like minutes. It feels maybe like hours when it could have been seconds. And the knocking continues, this slow, horrible knock on my door. Amidst the knocking, I hear a whistle. This man outside my door is knocking and whistling, and my heart is pounding in my chest. So I finally decide, Alison, you have to snap out of it. You need to do something. You can't just lay here anymore. So I, as quietly and slowly as I can, reach over to my nightstand, grab my phone, hide under my covers. I have no idea what this person can see from outside into my room. All I know is that I can see them. And I turn the brightness all the way down on my screen. I find my Chilean host mom's number and I text her in Spanish as best as I can. Hay alguien afuera de mi puerta. There's someone outside of my door. And it's 5 in the morning. I have no idea if she's going to wake up and get this message or what's going to happen. So now I'm game planning. I'm in my bed. I send this message. I decide I'm going to wait 5 minutes. If nothing happens, I'm going to roll out of my bed, crawl into the main house, get to my parents' room, and get help. Next thing I know, I've been laying there somewhere within these 5 minutes, and there's a knock this time from the inside. And in comes my mama. She starts rapid fire Spanishing me. It is 5 in the morning. I'm terrified. But I still feel like I understand what she's saying, but something feels like it's not computing because what I'm hearing is, oh, don't worry, that's just Ignacio, which is my host brother, my 27-year-old host brother who lives with us. And I say, Ignacio? Does he need to come in? And she just keeps talking and talking. And I'm catching bits and pieces, and she says something about DJ, and I'm like, I am not comprehending this. If I think she's talking about music and a disco, like, I just need to go back to bed. Like, it's over my head. So, before I can even get in another word or ask any more questions, she doesn't even give me the time to try and respond. She just says, don't worry, go back to bed, closes my door, and then I'm left alone in the dark. So my heart's still going a million miles an hour, but there's nothing really else for me to do. So I do my best to go back to sleep. In the morning, which by some miracle, I make it back to sleep. In the morning, I wake up, and it's my first day of school in Chile. So I arrive to school, and it's the perfect icebreaker to tell all my new friends and all the other exchange students. I'm like, so this is what happened to me last night. Do you think this is normal? And everyone was like, no, that was messed up. What happened? So I went home to confront my mom about it. I did it in what I hoped was a subtle way because she had mentioned Ignacio to me in a conversation. And I said, yeah, about that. What was up with him? I tried to ask in Spanish as best I could. Did he get locked out last night? And she waves me off and brushes it under the rug so fast that it's almost like I shouldn't have asked, and I never brought it up again. And from that moment forward, Ignacio hardly could look at me, let alone speak to me. It was the strangest thing. And so that was the strangest part of living with my host family, was trying to work with that relationship after that being my first experience with him. But my host family was perfectly lovely. The real kicker came in one night when I was out with my friends, and who's the DJ at this bar but my host brother? And it all comes full circle to my mind and clicks that I had understood my mom the whole time. He had come home. Chileans party until 5 a.m. because they can pace themselves. And so he had just come home from work and was out in our garden. My mom said probably having a cigarette, and there was nothing to be afraid of. But I still find the knocking a little suspicious.
I do a lot.